It's my pleasure this morning to introduce our first speaker, Trent Mongero, who is a state championship coach, 2017 ABCA National High School Coach of the Year. He's also author of Winning Baseball, which is a book and video instructional series. His high school teams have won over 450 games. He's a national clinician. You may have saw him on the main stage if you're at the national convention, not this year, but last year, or 2 years ago. Okay. He's a former D1 Conference Player of the Year at UNCW. He's on the All-Decade team. He was an infielder with the Braves organization. He's a current associate scout for the Red Sox. And he's now coaching at Wynn Academy in Georgia. So please make welcome Trent Mongero.
Hey guys, I applaud you for being here. Is this loud enough? Can they hear me? Okay. The more I do this talk on the most important 20 minutes of practice, the more informal I get. Okay. The thing is this. We're all high school coaches. I'm in the same boat as you guys. And I understand the challenges that you have, okay? So what I've tried to do over time, 28 years, is really refine down to what matters, the true fundamentals that matter to help an individual player maximize their potential and your team to maximize their performance. It's just my opinion. What I do at my practice is just my opinion. That's the beauty of this. So you may hear me say some things or see a drill and go, I don't like it. That's cool. You don't have to like it, okay? You don't have to do it. It's purely just ideas. And that's really how this evolved over time. I literally have grown this throwing program since I started coaching. I'm blessed to be friends with the big league pitcher coach for the Oakland A's. He's a dear friend of mine, and about 15 years ago, when he was just a single-A pitching coach in their organization, we started talking about throwing drills. And he introduced about 3 new drills, which I added in at that point. Okay, and then over this past year, I've started hanging out with Nate Trotsky a lot. He has done some throwing drills that I really like, and I've added them in. So that's the beauty of this, you know. You get to decide, but I will tell you this. If you can't throw in catch at an elite level, individually and as a team, you can't succeed. Okay? Defense is half of the game, and the skills that throwing involves encompass everything that you do on defense. The problem is this. We don't put enough emphasis on it. And if you put emphasis on it and you sell the whys to your players, they buy in and they start working at it. Okay, you guys know as well as I do, the people we inherit from the middle schools, the fundamentals are as worse as they've ever been. Okay, so we spend a lot of time reteaching, correcting, and I try to do all of that without stealing their athleticism from them. I want them to be athletes, not robots. Okay, but I sell the whys and then we go to work. So when we implement a throw a catch routine, it's literally pieces of the puzzle that we put in. There's no way, well, I guess there is a way, but I'm not sure it's the best way, that you can just take your team and like try to put something like this all in one day. Okay, it's way too much information. You're going to lose it. Just put it in little chunks. And then explain to them why you're doing each drill, what the intent of each drill is. And then in practice, literally, be out there with them. Be out there with them when they're doing this stuff. I walk up and down the line every day we're throwing. And I have a couple actually have a lot of good assistants. Okay, a couple of them are straight out of college as college coaches. And they like to spend a lot of time, you know, talking. Now they're talking about important things about practice, but they're used to being around athletes, I guess, that can throw and catch real well. Okay, so if I'm not there emphasizing the key components of what's going on, the attention to detail is naturally going to go down. Okay, the human element's going to come in with our players. They're going to start talking about things, okay, that are relevant to them, and they're not going to pay attention to what they're doing. And the first thing I tell to them is I've yet to see a play made at any level of baseball where the person fielding the ball is holding a conversation while they're making the play. Okay? They might communicate before they do something like 2-2-2 or, you know, flip, flip, flip or whatever, but not while they're actually fielding the ball. They're not having a conversation. So you can't have a conversation. Okay, so when I start going into some of these things, I'm going to be very, very informal with it. Okay, I mean, this is what we do every day. So I can literally just sit up here and talk to you. This is not pie in the sky, try to impress anybody, because that's not what this is about. It's real. Okay, when we get to the field, we literally dynamic flex like everybody else does. Okay, we have a routine that we do. And then we do the J-band routine. That's just the routine that I've bought into, that our guys like, and we've done it forever. It's been effective for us. We've had very few arm injuries. Okay, I don't know if it's a combination of that and weight room and stretching and other things, but, you know, and then we go straight into this throwing routine. Every day. We do it every day. I vary a few of the elements at the end, which you'll see, but this is what we do. So, you know, I've basically talked about this, explained the whys. So the pitchers, when they're doing this routine, they're alternating until they get 90 feet, 4-seam, 2-seam change, 4-seam, 2-seam change. We've got numerous guys that pitch and play position. Okay, so this is the best time, in my opinion, to work on your changeup grip and feel comfortable with the feel of your changeup. It's when you're actually doing all your throwing till you get 90 feet. So we have found that to be very, very effective for our pitchers. But if I don't remind them, they'll forget. Okay, and I try to partner the guys up with like positions as much as possible. Okay, but what I find is most of my players gravitate to guys that are most like them. So the guys that are really, really intent on getting good, they find guys that really, really want to get good, and that's who becomes their throwing partners as well. Okay, being an athlete, never a robot. I tell them that all the time. Okay, this is not a throwing talk. We can have a seminar on throwing, right? So these are the things: athletic movements. We already talked about the grips, having a relaxed tempo. Sync together upper body and lower body, create momentum to target whenever possible, proper alignment to target, having good direction, learning to use the glove side correctly. Correctly should be in quotes because everybody has a little different feel for what that is. Okay, and then make sure we exaggerate our finish. Big one is aim small, miss small. That's a huge emphasis for us. Most of young players, when they're throwing, they throw to a general person. They're not specifically throwing to a dot, okay? And we might tell them, throw to a specific target. They're not going to do it if you don't remind them. So I literally talk to them about picking, you know, the label of the hat, a letter on the jersey, the right shoulder, the left shoulder, the belly button. What are you throwing to? Because if you aim small, you're going to miss small. If you have a big target with no specific destination, when you miss, you're going to miss big, okay? To me, this is a simple teaching cue that really needs to be emphasized in your throwing routine. Receiving the ball. The young kids especially are extremely sloppy with how they catch. They don't move their feet well. The ball controls them. Their movements are sloppy and lazy. They catch the ball beside them. You know, they don't have their eyes behind the ball. And again, very, very, very bad with the feet. So I try to get them as much as possible. These are just basic fundamentals. And then we'll get into the throwing routine. So move their feet as much as possible. I want them to try to catch the ball inside their shoulders unless they can, just to emphasize the feet. We catch the ball with two hands inside our shoulders and one side out. Control the body. The verbiage I use is dominate the ball. Now that's not stabbing at the ball. It's just beating the ball to the spot and catch it under control. Okay, I want to hear a pop of the glove, clean catches. So when you're facing a team and they're getting loose, and they know how to throw and catch, everybody in here knows when you look over and you watch that other team and they're controlling the ball, they're throwing, they're athletic, the gloves are popping, ball, they're not playing fetch. You know, like, these guys can play a little bit, right? So if they can swing the bat, they're going to be a formidable opponent. So dominate the ball, control the ball, clean catches, all right? Know when to catch versus deflect. That's primarily my infielder, because I want them using an element of both during their throw catch routine. Okay, and then we also implement throwing and catching in the least amount of time as possible. And everybody does that. And we will compete at the end, and you'll see that we compete. Okay, got to put a little pressure on the guys. All right, first one we don't use. This is for like little kids, so I'm going to skip right over it. All right, so this is literally where we start, okay? Kneeling figure 8, okay? And I can go through the whys, and I will real quickly on some of them, and you can decide whether you like them or not. This is a rhythm tempo. It's an over-exaggeration of throwing mechanics, okay? So all I'm doing is having them get on a knee with their squared up to their partner, okay? We just want to create a little rhythm and tempo with our body. We get our body turned to the side, separate in the middle. I try to emphasize out front, just, finish out front, throw, and follow. So, I guess I should say this, just to clarify. We're literally doing these drills to get loose. We've already stretched, we've already done our bands, okay? But so they're not throwing hard. Everything is free and easy right now, looking for good rotation, good finish. And I just want them, they're right in here, about 5 yards apart, just finish, chin to target outside their opposite knee, and then catch the ball and receive it under control. Both of these guys are Division I players now, but they were in high school at the time. So you can see. You can't really hear that.
Finish outside that opposite knee.
Real clean, real easy.
Remember, pitchers would be 4-seam, 2-seam change.
All right, so kneeling power position. So again, a little bit of an over-exaggeration on the movements, and you got to be careful when you're teaching players because some of them will take every little thing that you say literally, okay, and they'll become little robots. So when I was in college, and I had a very, very good infield coach, Mark Scaff, okay, we literally did a power position drill where we would lock in behind like at 90 degrees. Well, we don't ever throw like that, okay? Everything is right in here, real relaxed, okay? So that's all these guys are doing. The front foot's going to be preset slightly open because we're not striding to throw, so it's already in that position where we're ready to go. So they just separate in the middle, create a little rhythm on the backside, and then they throw and they follow. And not follow, finish. Okay, so it's just a simple little drill. These are 30 seconds apiece, guys. Okay, we're literally, when this is done, we're 1 minute into practice.
Good. And your target?
So I would like Tabor to have a little more rhythm right now than he does. And that's something we really emphasize since we put this in. This was like almost 3 years ago. When we filmed this, so now we're going to a standard figure 8. So they back up just a little bit, no more than 5-7 yards apart. I want them athletic in their stance, athletic in their knees, just staying to the center of their body. So here's the premise. When we throw in a game, we never throw, or very rarely can I think of instances besides a pitcher, where you're throwing from a standing position. Like you just catch a ball, and you just take a step and throw, very casual, okay? Everything is done on the move, from different positions, off of different legs. Sometimes you're facing a target, you're moving away from a target, you have your back to a target. So as we progress through the drills, they get progressively more difficult. The initial drills are just trying to create little simple mechanical things that will help them be more consistent. And I can tell you from experience, whether every one of these drills is perfect, the culmination of all of them work. Because the one thing that my teams can do is we can throw and catch. Okay? Especially after I've been there for a few years and they do this stuff for a few years. When they come as 8th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, by the time they're juniors, they are very good throwers. So all we're doing, we're being athletic, okay? Just a little rhythm out front. Make sure we get a good upper body turn here, good separation. I want them trying to work out front and just finish with that back shoulder to target. Slight roll of the throw side heel over just to release that backside just a little bit when they're throwing. We're 1.5 minutes into our throwing routine. Sometimes it's just throwing from uncomfortable positions. It's teaching your body how to be athletic and compensate.
Good. No steps here. Just let the throwing side heel rotate over.
So we're 4 minutes. We're in a standing power position, which we did on a knee. So we're gonna open this slight foot, our front foot, not completely, just slightly closed, little rhythm, okay? Get to our backside, slightly against our backside, not over our backside, pinch that hip in, okay? Just be athletic, transfer energy to the front side, chin to target. I really don't care right here if their backside comes through or not. We're just a few yards away from each other, and we're not even throwing very hard yet. Want them staying on top and behind the baseball so they learn to develop a little bit of a touch here, okay, which is a big problem for young kids. They don't know how to have touch. Everything has to be max effort, you know, when they're throwing. They got to learn how to be able to throw correctly from a soft position and a hard position. So front foot, you can see is open, little rhythm. Just getting out over that front side right now.
Like clean catches. You hear the pop of the glove.
And literally the cues I'm giving here as I'm walking up and down the line, to my guys, I'll be giving them positive feedback as much as possible.
Efficient with their body, quiet heads.
All right, tempo arm swings. This is one that was put in. All right, so I guess I need to clarify two things before I go on. One is this is a general throwing routine. This is not just for infielders. Okay, so when I'm doing an infield routine, some of the arm action that I'd be emphasizing with them would be a little bit different than what I might be with pitchers or outfielders or so forth. This is just a general, okay, so you've got to talk to your players specifically about their arm actions that they use. And we will very quickly here be into a part of this slide program that's called specialty throwing by position. And that is really where they can tie that in. But tempo arm swings, this was a pitching drill that was put in. Just learning how to tie your lower body to your upper body. They're just swinging as the hand comes back, the hips are coming back, okay? And then they just load, throw, get out over their front side. Chin to target, good glove side, okay? Just creating good alignment and direction to their target. So I try to tie throwing into like dart play. You know, like if you were going to try to win a dart competition, and one time you threw here, and the next time you're here, and the next time you're here, and then your arm slides down here. When you're first learning how to throw, if you're throwing differently all the time, it becomes very difficult for you. Once you have a consistent arm slide and release, and you can repeat, at that point we really start to vary their ability to throw from different arm slides and do different things. So these simple beginning drills are like really, really basic.
Swing. The weight's against the back. Get out over the front.
Just transfer energy.
The back, out over the front, good. Good rhythm and tempo, free and easy, never being a robot. Good.
So I always love, like, you know, we go to baseball conventions, right? I want to know what works. You know, I want to know what works. When I'm sitting where you guys are, which I will be when Jack is speaking, you know, I'm asking myself, what works? What can apply, right? So, boxers, tying in the feet to the upper body, okay? When your feet and your hands, they match. The quicker your feet are, the quicker your arm action has to be, okay? Otherwise, you're going to take extra steps. So, in boxers are basically front to back, okay? When you teach it, they're going to want to, like, go up and down. They have a hard time releasing their ankles, and they're just going front to back. So once they come to the back, they're just going to transfer energy out over that front side, and now they'll start to follow. Okay, that's the cue. They're starting to transfer the energy of their legs, match up their arm slots, and tempo of their arm with their feet. Okay, so we're becoming a little more athletic here as we continue to move through these drills.
Back, front to back, load again, throw and follow. Good. Hit him in the chest. Front to back, throw, follow. Okay? Relax those ankles, be athletic, load against the back. Really want to get over that front side. Good. Learn to transfer that energy out through and in front.
So, when they did this entire throwing routine, they didn't throw one ball away. They had a couple that weren't on the money. And most of the guys, this is my facility, so we're literally throwing right down this right field line every day. And very few guys, from the time we start, from the time we go all the way back for a long, come in, compete, quick feet release, the entire team, there might be 10 balls that are overthrown, okay, or missed, literally. from everybody on the entire varsity team, through everything. So they're being pretty consistent, okay, and they're working pretty hard to do that. Jump backs is an over-exaggerated boxer, so they're going to load to the front side if I'm throwing that way. They're going to load against their backside, okay, and then they have to really get off that backside out over their front side and get down the hallway, okay, take their chin to their target. One of the biggest flaws I see at the high school level when people throw, no matter where they're throwing, is they want to constantly fall off when they're throwing. And when you're throwing long distances, it's very hard to be consistent when you're doing that. So jump backs starts to engage the lower half even more, create good direction.
Right down the line, chin to your target. Good one side, good clean catch. Load, out over that front side, good. Against the backside, nice. Again, two position players, we're four seam all the time. Pitchers will be doing four seam, two seam change. Good, clean, right in the chest.
Now, all these drills are on my YouTube channel, okay, and it's literally titled the same thing, so that's why I don't give you a handout. There are a couple that I've added in the last year that are, if you look it up on the YouTube channel, they're not going to be there. So this is where the athleticism really starts to tie in, 180s and 360s. Throw into a blind target, okay, completely rotating your body to a target. Now be careful when you implement this, okay, you teach it, you explain the whys, and make sure they are spread out. Because they will throw to the wrong guy, okay? And you'll have a couple of dead players. But, yeah, so 180s, okay? 180s, not only is it thrown to a blind target, so I'm throwing right there to that guy right there, but it's literally our pickoff move to second base, one of them, okay? So, like for the pitchers, all they're doing is, boom, you know, throwing to that blind target, trying to be knee to belt high to the third base side of second, okay? But for the rest of them, they're just learning how to be athletic. So I literally just showed you the drill. My partner is right over there, and all I'm doing, okay, I'm just to the center of my body, separate and throw. Okay, and big one here is when they rotate, they definitely have that inertia, wanting them to keep moving away from their target. So these, if you look down these carpet lines at a distance, you can see like there's lines, there's hallways. Okay, probably one of the coolest things that I've ever done is at the Georgia clinic, high school clinic. The chairs were a little bit further apart. We were in like a glass dome having this talk. There was like 300 coaches there. And Tabor and I literally did the throwing routine right down the center with a real baseball. One throwing away baseball, we shattered like we're at a Hilton, right? The people are like panicking, we're like throwing a baseball. Not the coaches, but the people working there. But why am I saying that? That's the kind of confidence that you have to have when you throw. When I was a young player and my coach would stand next to the person I was throwing to, I would like get all nervous, like, you know, I'm gonna hit him, you know, I'm gonna hit coach, you know. No, you just throw. You know, you have to be able to throw like you know your name. Your mechanics, your belief, your intent has to be so strong as a thrower that you don't think twice about what you're doing. And you've done it so much, it just becomes human nature. And if you repeat good things over and over, good things are going to happen for you in the game. If you're sloppy when you warm up, this is not rocket science. But what do? We don't emphasize it. We're tired. We've been teaching all day, right? We're tired. We get to practice. We've been dealing with behavior issues, trying to, you know, deal with some parent issues. You know, we got to rain out. We got to make up. And we got to talk to the umpires and reschedule the buses. And we're trying to do practice. And, you know, you get out there and the guys aren't quite doing it right. You just don't feel like saying that. You let them kind of get away with it, you know, and they get worse, okay? So that's why, like, one of these, at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll do wonders. They didn't pay me for that advertising. But here we go, 180s and 360s. Notice he uses his legs to get back on line, right down the line.
Good. We'll follow your throw just a tad more. Oh, finish that throw before you follow that.
And that reminds me of something he just did to talk about.
Follow. Good. Throw, then follow. Couple more. Then throw. Really good.
Oh, it's going to skip over it. I might go back. So this is the big deal, the teaching cue. When you start teaching kids to follow, they will start trying to follow before they throw. Like finish their throw. They'll like start bringing their backside through with their foot. Okay? Tell them it's just natural. When you create energy towards the target, that backside will just come along for the ride, and then you just stay on line. Okay, because I notice all the time when I'm teaching 8th graders, when we start talking about throwing and following, they'll start going, you know, like they don't have a feel for it, right? So just remember that as you're teaching. 360s, you're literally, okay, you're going to walk into it. Let me make sure I got it right before I demonstrate it. Right, left, front, follow. Okay, so they're literally making a full rotation where the whole world spins around them and they got to be on the money with their throw. Okay, so right, left, follow. I cut it short on the video. Okay, now we're continuing to get more athletic, one-legged throws. So the whole goal, this was literally, I literally took this 2 days ago. I filmed this. That's one of my shortstop pictures. Doing it. The whole goal, so they come in, we probably be just a little further this entire stage apart. Maybe another 5 yards added on to that. So I'm right-handed, I'm going to be on my right foot. The whole goal is to catch, throw, without ever putting that left foot down. Have that much body control. And they have to learn to how to create inertia by, you know, using their upper body and their legs to create torque, to create velocity, and then have consistency. Okay, that's putting yourself in an uncomfortable position to throw. And yes?
You have your outfielders and catchers and everyone else do this drill?
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody in the entire team. So nothing is specific to any position yet. This is the entire team. Okay. The only thing that might be changing is like infielders might be using, if they just play infield, they just use their arm slots that they use from short distances. And you can see right here how his glove stays to the center of his body when he throws. A lot of times when you throw off one foot, that glove is going to work. You'll see big leaguers, a lot of them when they throw, you know, from whatever arm slot, that glove is going to be somewhere to the side or center of their chest when they're throwing. A bad throw took him off, a bad feed from his partner.
What's the distance between?
10 yards, 15, wherever they're comfortable. You know, we want them to start being able to do it from further distance. So when we do 180s and 360s, you can change the order. They're literally about 90 feet when they're doing 180, 360s, and when we come into the one-legged throws, they'll all come in about half the distance between first and second. So they're about 45 feet or so, okay, each. So another big problem that I found with high school athletes when they have to throw on the run, whether it's a run down, you know, they field the ball on the run, they have a hard time syncing up their body. Ball tends to be high. They throw over their target a lot. So we started implementing these running throws. So they literally, the first one is a throw with one shuffle and a follow. So guys that have trouble following their throws, when you do this, they won't have trouble following their throws because they're going to be on a full sprint. Okay? So they literally take off on about a 5 to 7 yard full sprint as fast as they can go straight ahead towards their target. Turn their body to the side for one shuffle, throw, and just let the body naturally throw to follow. This one I added this year. We just added. This is one of Nate Trotsky's drills, okay? And I love it. The guys love it, okay? So you'll see my catcher here, and I always have my catchers wear their shins during our entire throwing routine because their shins need to be like, they don't even know they're on their body anymore, okay? So I don't make them wear their chest protectors when we're throwing, but you'll see he's got his shins on this for the entire throwing routine, okay? He just committed to Chat Valley yesterday. Okay, so I just added that one so it doesn't loop. You got the idea. Same thing right here, except two shuffles. So full sprint into a shuffle, throw and follow. Okay, a lot of infielders and position players, especially infielders, we don't always have to throw the ball. Everybody thinks you got to throw the ball with minimum footwork. You don't have to always throw the ball with minimum footwork. There's a lot of factors that make me determine as a player whether I'm going to throw with minimal foot patterns or if I can take an extra shuffle. The harder the ball is hit, the slower the runner, all those things give me more time. If I don't have good grip on the ball, you know, all those, why would I force myself into a foot pattern when it's not necessary? But just learning how to shuffle. So when I'm teaching infield play, like I'll literally put them on command for when they throw. Okay, I want you to throw minimum foot pattern here, right, left throw, gone, or shuffle, one shuffle, two shuffles, or keep shuffling and stay center of gravity until I say throw, and you get throw and follow. But every day in practice, everybody on the team does this. This is going to be a run with two shuffles. This is one of my favorite drills that we do. Okay, because guys that don't know how to use their body, they don't know how to follow, it just forces so many good things to happen. Left-handed pitcher, first baseman. There's the catcher beside. Two shuffles, throw and follow. And you'll see my two college assistant coaches sitting there in the background. This one repeats on the infield. All right. So throwing on the run, we've been doing some throwing on the run. I've taken this one out. We literally used to all go to one side for a couple steps and throw against our body, but I added the one-legged throws in instead. So this one has been cut out from my routine. You might like it and want it in. It's just very hard to manage a throw down the right field line. If everybody's lined up, you know, doing their throwing, to start running to the side, throwing in that direction, it's a little bit sloppy. So I took it out, but it's still in the PowerPoint.
We're going to field off left, throw off right. So basically they're going to be working off throwing off the right, going away from their target, just looking at the throw from a different arm slot. Go ahead. Walking down the line a couple steps, throw. Good. Hustle back. Walking down, field off left, throw off right.
So we took it away. So now, I mean, if you think about it, everything we've done is 30 seconds. 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. We're like 8 minutes, 9 minutes into practice. And look how much work these guys have done. I mean, they've done a lot of work. It's not, hey, go get your arm loose so we can practice. It's let's practice so when we go do our practice, it's a much cleaner, efficient practice. Okay? They're confident. When they can throw in rundowns, they can throw in first and thirds, they can throw in cutoff relays, they can, you know, they can field ground balls and throw, they can hit cutoff men. It cleans everything up. Confidence gets a whole lot better and game performance. Okay? So especially throwing by position is a 2-minute segment for my throwing routine where literally they get to do whatever kind of throwing would be specific to them. So catchers would have a ball in their glove, they'd be coming out to shoot, throwing down to second. They turn them this way to their target, they're stepping behind, throwing to third. Okay, they're rolling bunts out to themselves, fielding them, throwing them. Okay, whatever it takes. Infielders are doing backhands, you know, perfect fielding position with minimum foot patterns. They might do double play feeds to each other, whatever they want to do. Okay, outfielders, ground balls, fly balls, simulating different kinds of catches into their throw. And they're at least 90 feet. Most of them are 90 to 100 feet by this point, you know, when they're doing these things. How are we doing on time?
Field power throw follow, into a relay.
So this is 2 infielders.
Field power throw follow, into a relay.
So you see the receiver acting like he's, you know, he's doing a relay. Sometimes they'll act like they're putting tags down at a base.
Ball always starts in the glove, so they have to make that transition to a 4-seam. Field power throw follow, good quick feet getting underneath.
So that was an example. So now we're backing up to throw long. And I let them go on their own here. And I talk to them why. Why do I let you go on your own? I don't have cones set every 5-10 yards. You get 3 throws here, 3. I don't do that. Okay? Because everybody's arm is different. Okay? And everybody has a different feel. So my starting shortstop, who's arguably my #1 pitcher, you know, may have thrown 90 pitches the night before. I'm not going to force him to make any certain throw. Okay, they have to communicate to us how they feel, but sometimes they'll go way, way, way back. And we're in season, by the way, in Georgia. Okay, we're week 2. We already had tryouts. We're 2 weeks in. Okay, so the guys are throwing, and I've noticed like this week the distances are starting to get a little bit further because you have the players who prepared, and you have the players, even though you told them they need to prepare, they don't prepare on a regular basis. and their arms are hanging after the first week because day one, they're like, ooh, I feel good. And they're throwing balls all over the place, and then the next day, they're like, oh, that wasn't really smart. So I don't make them go any certain distances. I do want them using their legs. I do want them airing it out, making sure they're staying on line, getting a true flight to the ball. Okay, those are the things that we're looking for. One guy may feel good, better than the partner. I don't care if they throw long hops to each other. In fact, I encourage the outfielders to try to throw a couple long hops, where they can get the ball up to be received. Probably one of the greatest things I ever did for outfielders, and this is really simple, is we're allowed to have workouts in the fall with our guys. So I took my outfielders and I said, you guys are coming in at third base, 2 of you at a time, and the 2 of you are going to throw to each other from the outfield, and you can see what it's like to try to pick an in-between hop when you guys can't throw the ball from the outfield. See what these infielders are trying to deal with, and then they got to also navigate the runner coming in there that they're trying to tag out. And it's amazing how things really started to clean up after that, okay? Don't ask me why I went there, but it just hit me.
Really finishing out front.
This was preseason.
The receivers.
This was in the fall, so they didn't back all the way out. You guys know what long toss
Back
looks
up
like.
against the long hop. Control the catch. Good. Okay.
All right, so I didn't invent any of this stuff, so now we're coming in, and I really like this because we've kind of found an arm slot that's a little deeper, and we're letting the ball go, and now they got to get on top. We're getting ready to go to practice. They may have to make throws across the infield, and I'm trying to bring them back center. So at 90 feet, they got to get on top at 90, and if they feel really good, like they're literally throwing about 95%. Okay, they're letting it go on top, trying to be on the money, really hone in that arm slot.
So good glove side. Let it go. Dominate that ball on the catch.
I have a time slot of 1 minute here, but it's literally up to the guys how many they make.
Nice, good accurate throws. Good. 2 more each. Good.
All right, so here's where we come in. Now, what I've started to do here is I bring the guys in, and they're about 10 yards apart. Before we do quick feet, quick release, where we start tying in the feet and the hands, I literally have the guys on the foul line over there. These guys are out all on the line. Okay, they have to be athletic. And what I tell them to do is I want them to try to make as quick a transition as you can possibly make with the ball. Every position on outfielders, infielders, pitchers, everybody's doing it. Okay, wherever you receive the throw, that's where you want to throw it from. So a lot of times I'll talk to them, about a clock. Just creating that posture, that posture angle from the different arm slots, learning how to catch and throw, okay, and how we just basically are tilting our posture. That our arm slot's really not that much different from where we normally throw up top. But so they're doing it without moving their feet. So the infielders are really trying to deflect here, no matter where they catch it, and they want to be relaxed. Because they'll get tense, they'll get really tight here, and that slows them down. So I gotta tell them, relax, relax. You guys know Trotsky, I use some of his verbiage now, Wu Wei, and be like water, and all that stuff. So relax, and they're just, just seeing how quickly we get rid of that ball when they're not engaging their feet. They do 5 each, and then we compete. So the distance we compete at is foul line, 45 feet. Halfway between first and second if we're going on the left field line, third and second, okay? They have a line they got to be at, and we're going to make as many transitions in 20 seconds as we can make, okay? I teach them the cues, okay? When you're throwing to somebody that's throwing back to you, where do you throw the ball? A little bit more to their throwing side. They're not making a relay, they're throwing the ball back to you, okay? So we're trying to throw just to the, if he's right-handed, it's going to be just to the right of his nose or his right eye. So he can very quickly deflect. He's not having to go way over here. That's chewing up time. Okay? We don't catch, take out, throw, we deflect. How do you deflect? Well, every player is different. You're going to catch just below pocket. Some guys are getting crazy off the heel of the glove because if you miss, you're going to wear your wrist out. Okay? I used to push through. This glove won't do brand new. I just really could flatten my glove out on the inside to deflect the energy of the ball right to my throwing hand to throw. The feet have to move before you make the catch. It's not catch, feet, and throw. They start learning how to shave time, and we compete with consequences. So 20 seconds. The best I've ever seen, unless I've screwed the time up, when I'm literally on for 20 seconds, is 22 transitions at 45 feet. Or my high school guy. That's getting rid of it. That's getting rid of it, getting rid of it accurately, you know, having a little on it with just some natural risk. Okay? So,
Get set, go.
that was 20 transitions, 20 seconds. Okay, right there. That was the distance. So when you lose, what we get? Not a lot. What we get? Coach, I got 19. Anybody get better than 19? No. If you don't have 19 or better, 10 push-ups, quality push-ups, 20 jumping jacks. Okay, the last one is a sprint. Somewhere. It's going to be somewhere. They don't know where it's going to be. Come to me. Last man back's got 2. It's amazing how much faster they run. Last man back's got 2. Okay. Then we add in other things. This is like, so literally this week we started adding in our best inside move. Okay? And I want every player doing it because it just teaches body control and they get a little appreciation. Pitchers making moves. So we literally spend about a minute with our inside move. We have a couple other moves that we add in. That's what they're doing right here. They're working on an inside move. So again, we do all this stuff.
Best inside move, touching right behind the rubber, throwing a second. And Will's going to do his settle to the plate, third, throw to first.
Okay, that's still allowed in high school, right? Third, first. So that's what he was just showing you, the variation he was working on. We've literally added in our rundowns this week. So really, really cool. Adam Wainwright of the St. Louis Cardinals, you know, he's basically our famous alum at Glenn Academy. He was at practice yesterday. He threw a pen. I had a sophomore catcher and a senior catcher get to catch him up. Comes out, he took BP with the guys. He took some ground balls with the guys, hung around in the outfield with the guys. Okay, we work rundowns. He's out there with the guys. Okay, mixing it up. Awesome dude. Okay, but we work rundowns literally as teams. So these guys are just showing. So we'll have about 2 to 3 guys here, 2 to 3 guys there, all 90 feet plus. Another line right here, another line. So 3 lines. And what I've started doing this year is literally line 1 gets to actually be between first and second on the game field. So instead of just doing it on the grass like they're going to practice, you know, with the actual bases, we implement our rules for the rundown. I got to be close, right?
1 minute.
Okay. And so whatever your rules for your rundown, that's where we're implementing. This past week we did it every single day. Okay. So if you ever play us, just know that we pick a lot. Okay. And you might end up in some rundowns. So why I say that is because you probably will start thinking about it when you play us. You probably won't pick it all. Just kidding. We do end up in a lot of rundowns. So the guys have to be really, really efficient in their rundowns. They should be like clockwork. Whenever us as coaches are over there kind of like with our fingers crossed during a play, that's not a good sign. Okay, like, you know, that means you probably need to work on it a little more. And in closing, you know, nothing is rocket science, guys. I applaud you in what you're doing. We're all on the same journey. Okay, yes, we want to have winning teams, but when these guys, you know, when they go play at, you know, Clemson or Team USA or wherever they're going to go, or if they don't go, they can one day work with their kids' teams and actually give them a foundation. Even if what they're doing is not necessarily we all agree on, like maybe I would teach that a little different, they at least understand the whys, they have fundamentals, they have body control, they see the progression of how things are taught, and they can take that later on and give that to somebody else. Or if they get to go play in college, you know, if Jack Leggett doesn't do rundowns like Trent Mongero, that doesn't matter. Okay, they're good enough athletes now where they can make a quick adjustment to however he wants it done. Okay, but they have the confidence. When they get in there, they can sack, they can drag, they can slash, they can hit and run, they can hit balls to all fields because they do it every day. And then they get to college and their teammates are freshmen. They don't know how to lift weights properly. They don't know how to, you know, execute. Ran a Jernigan in closing, went to UGA, my freshman for my first year. He sent me back a long text. He's like, Coach, I just want to thank you so much. I literally still have it on my phone. I want to thank you so much for teaching us all of the intricacies of small ball. How to sack, how to drag, how to slash, hit, run, squeeze, safety, squeeze. You know, hit, I can hit the ball. He's like, when I got to UGA and we started working at this, he's like, I was able to do it as good as anybody, all the older guys, of any of them. And he's like, man, it felt so good to know that I was prepared, not feathering my cap. I see that as my job. That's my job, okay? That's our job. So I applaud you guys. I thank you for your time. Hopefully there's something in here that you can take with you. Okay, you can't throw, you can't catch, you can't play. Don't ever forget that.